How you do that, Daryl? How you do that, Daryl? And I ain't mad about it. I am your man's Nic Rattlehead, and behind this camera somewhere out in California, hopefully staying safe and watching over your boy, is my brother, my pal, my compadre, my amigo. Thanks for the let me figure, man. My man's with the master plan, 100 grand, only you, me, and our alien overlords know how much I love this guy, man. Tell him one more time, what's your name? Matt the Graff. Matt the Graff, and we are Aftershock Reviews, here to give you the best extreme music reviews. And what that entails today is me putting you on game, making you hip to the game with this new wonderful death doom psychedelic album called Psychedelic Realms of Hell by Wharflurch. And quick side note, I like calling them flirty. I don't know why I like calling them flirty. So if you hear me call them flirty throughout the rest of this review, know I'm talking about Wharflurch, okay? Just saying. But this album is great. This album is fun. This album is an experience. And it's not every day I get a chance to say death, doom, psychedelia. It's not a normal concoction, right? But the thing about it is, it's because it is so out of the realm of the ordinary is why I think this thing is so engaging and it's so much fun. And it's almost a situation where the album really relies on world building. And how do they accomplish that? They accomplish that by these really elaborate and spacey synth pieces that are between the tracks and sometimes laced within the track itself to help you immerse you into what they're trying to paint for you. It's absolutely great. It's so much fun. And not only do they have these great synth pieces to help us with our world building, but they almost pull a Midnight Marauders type of thing where they have like this computerized, spacey, disembodied voice that gives us these small spoken word pieces between the different tracks. It's really great. It's almost like I'm a Twilight Zone episode. I'm a Twilight Zone fan. I love the Twilight Zone. Like, the Twilight Zone is one of those shows that I think is just timeless. And when you go back and you look at it and you see it in the black and white and all the rest of that stuff, right, it just adds to the eerie ambiance of the stories that Rod Serling presents to you on a nightly basis. It's so much fun. And to me, what this actually reminds me of, just follow me here. It's The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. Now, this is one of my favorite episodes. Why? Because it's a situation where you see these people in their paranoia, their Cold War paranoia. They don't trust anybody. They might think, oh, this guy is an alien. Yeah, it's like that. They're an alien. And the person who actually puts forth the idea is this kid. He's like, yo, I saw this comic book and aliens were about to invade us. And this is how they went about doing it. And I saw this guy over here acting like the alien I saw in the comic books. And then the adults, right? The adults follow this logic. But here's the funny part. The kid wasn't wrong, but the kid was like half right. So he wasn't wrong, but it was half right. Why was he half right? Because there were no aliens among them. The aliens started messing with them from afar. Right? So they're like, yo, we're going to mess with the lights. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to see how these humans respond to these different things. And if we think that these humans are worth our time, if we think these are good life forms, we will bestow a lot of our knowledge upon them. But what the aliens find is the humans are trash. The humans are garbage. They turn on themselves at the drop of a dime. There's no loyalty, no nothing. There's like, you know what? The secret to eternal life and all these other great things that we're going to put on these creatures, these animals, this cattle, they don't deserve it. They just don't. So we're going to leave. But how does this play into the narrative of this album, Nick? How does this play into the psychedelic realms of hell? I'll tell you. Because it feels like the aliens that we're dealing with in this album, they're not trying to bestow any secrets that will benefit us. They're not. What they did was they say, cool, here are these spores. Right? And these spores are going to be scattered out throughout the world, right? And now what we're going to do is we're going to watch the human race ingest these spores, ingest these mushrooms, ingest whatever this is, and we're going to watch them tear themselves apart. And then when they tear themselves apart, we're going to take over all this crap. It's not a game. It's fun. It's absolutely fun. Like, I haven't got a vivid picture like this in a while, and it's so much fun. And how did they go about, like, painting this picture for us, right? It opens with these very spacey synths in celestial mycelium. I think I said that right? And not only does it start with that, but it also lends itself to the intergalactic ambiance as well, with this very highly melodic line that's introduced via the keyboard again, right? So the synths are setting the background, but then they also give us one, it's almost like a Darth Vader-like march melody before it leads us into the actual track itself. Thundering guitars and all. But I want to go back to that line, because this synth line that leads us in is like do, 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 do. So it switches a little bit, right? So, but there is that hint of Star Wars. There is that hint of Darth Vader buried in there somewhere. And it makes it feel like you're on another planet, or you're not on our planet watching what's happening. So there is that interstellar bit that's going to be introduced into this track. But after all of that, it goes straight into the death metal. And it's good old-fashioned death metal. It's old school death metal to the max. Necrot level and all. It's great. It's absolutely wonderful. Thundering percussion. And going back to the percussion, I want to talk about that kick drum, because the kick drum is very impactful. Like, it hits you in your gut, bruh. It's like, it's that feeling you get when you ate, like, I don't know, like 40 wings at your favorite wing spot, and you made sure to tell them, I want all drums, because people who eat flats are weird. Like, I want all drums, and I want them wet, like extra wet, right? Like, when you bring it out, I want them swimming in the sauce type of wet. And it hits the bottom of your stomach, and you feel the impact of it, and you're like, I gotta go to the bathroom. That's how that kick drum feels. It's so much fun. It really is. And also the good thing is I can hear a little bit of the trigger on the kick drum, but it's not overbearing. It doesn't do the ticka 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 like you're hitting some type of steel pot or something else like that. Like, and it can be a little bit corny. It's tastefully done. It's tastefully done. But not only is the synths great, not only is the percussion wonderful, not only do they have thick, chunky butt riffs with big, stinky bass, but the vocalist. Look, the vocalist is absolutely fantastic, because he has a great range, right? Not only is he able to give me the old school death metal type of thing, right? But he can also scream and shriek and gurgle and yell, and it all fits, and it all seems like it's this different sides of a fractured psyche that is the aliens that are watching us ingest these spores, trip the hell out, and then he's just like, yep, I got these guys. I got them. It's great. It's absolutely wonderful. But Stoned Ape Apocalypse might be my favorite track from this album. And it was a single too. So it wasn't just introduced in the album. It wasn't a deep cut, but it was indeed a single. But it is still my favorite. Why? Because it helps with the narrative, right? Stoned Ape Apocalypse. You guys are going to die. Like, the human race is going to perish, right? And they look at us as like less than. Like, we're not really human. We're monkeys to them. We're apes, right? And we're apes that they're going to tear apart. We're apes that they're going to eliminate. And we're going to eliminate them by getting them so stoned on these spores, they won't be able to defend themselves. And then we're going to eradicate them. It's good. But then on top of that, it has these very highly melodic, catchy, doom-laden riffs, and they are repeated. So it's almost like stoner metal in an aspect, which lends itself to the psychedelia part, right? And we started to get a little bit of the psychedelia as well, going back to the synths on the previous track, the opener, right? Especially when it had its, like, midway through the track, it's like a little synth interlude. It was something like that, right? Here, they take that and go to the max with it. So it's more repetitious, it's more melodic, which means it's more catchy. But it has those wonderful, oh my gosh, wonderful synths. I cannot stress this enough, because it helps build the world around us. It gives us its color. It makes things seem a little bit more fuzzy and a little bit more disoriented and a little bit more intergalactic, right? It is so great. It is so great. And then I want to go to Abandoning Reality. Now, Abandoning Reality is in competition with Stone Ape Apocalypse for the best riff off this album. It's absolutely fantastic. But what it does also, it shows their writing chops a little bit more, right? It puts that on more of a display by the way they go from passage to passage to passage so seamlessly, especially when it gets to Yet Again. So it's kind of mirroring the opener, but it has this mid section that has this wonderful solo. Listen, the soloing here is absolutely fantastic because it's not overly technical. Clearly the guy has chops. Clearly this man literally knows how to do a wonderful solo with a good start, a good middle, and a good end, or it'll just fade you out, depending on what track that you're on. But the soloing here is wonderful. It feels so full-bodied, and it feels like it belongs to, and it doesn't like, oh, we have to show them we can play. We have to show these guys that we know how to play our instruments. No, the guy does a wonderful job of crafting a solo that fits within the sonic narrative that is this album. It's great. It's great. It's great. And then I want to talk Bog Body Belotus. So it starts out, and it's yet again, it's a synth, of course, right? But it sounds like a bog is like bubbling in the background. And what this paints for me, follow me here. I am also a big Beavis and Butthead fan. I'm a kid from the 90s. Of course I watched Beavis and Butthead. Of course I did. And my parents didn't like it. My parents was kind of like, you're not allowed to watch that show. So I was like, Gucci. So what I would do is I would go to my TV and then I would go to MTV and watch Beavis and Butthead. But us smart 90s kids know that there was this magical button on your controller called Last. So what would you do? You would put Beavis and Butthead on one channel, and then you would put Cartoon Network on the other channel, right? And then what you would do, if you heard your parents coming, you would hit the last button on that remote, and it would shoot you back to Cartoon Network, though you were watching Beavis and Butthead. It was like that. So I'm saying all of this to say, I watched Beavis and Butthead, and I loved Beavis and Butthead Do America. That's still, to this day, one of my favorite movies, right? It's because it's just so blissfully stupid. I love Mike Judge. God bless Mike Judge, right? For that movie. And I bring it up because Beavis in the desert ends up taking a mushroom because, you know, at this point they're dehydrated, they're starving, they haven't eaten, they think they're going to die. Beavis looks over and says, oh, there's a mushroom. Hey, Butthead, check this out. I'm not going to try and imitate Beavis. I know I would just butcher that. He ingests the mushroom, right? And then he starts tripping balls. And then it's one of the best sequences of the entire movie because the animation style flips, right? And you start seeing like all of these different weird blue and red and yellow demons and like fire and like there's a weird like demon motorbike that goes like going across the screen. It's really weird. You see like Kali's in here, like the deity Kali is in here. I don't know why she's here, but she's here. And like you also see like lips and all this other stuff. He's just tripping balls. Like it's crazy, but it's one of the best sequences of the movie. And Bog Body Belotus feels like that because since I hear the bog boiling in the background, right? And then the whole thing just comes in like a torrential downpour of sound. It's great. It's so great. I feel like I don't even do stuff like that, which no shot to anybody who does, but I don't. But I feel like I am because they did such a good job of the world building. That is the key phrase here, world building, because it immerses me into this album. Psychedelic Realms of Hell is just an amalgamation of everything that they have done for us up to this point. And at this point, the our alien overlords have already seen, yep, we got them. They're tripping balls. They're stumbling over themselves. They're clearly stupid. So guess what we're going to do now? We're going to take over. The apocalypse that was already spoken to us in Stoned Ape Apocalypse is now among us. The aliens are about to take over. And it's all because they hit us with these weird psychedelic hallucinogenic spores. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's fantastic. I love this album. You should pick this up. The name of this album, again, is called Psychedelic Realms of Hell by Wharflurch, or Flurchy. I like saying it, Flurchy. It's a good name. You should check this out now. You can go to the Bandcamp, pick up a CD, pick up some shirts, you know what I mean? Hopefully I'll be able to pick up a vinyl sometime soon, because even then, like, I don't know if you can see the cool artwork there, and then, back there, and then even on the inside, you have like these cool little inserts. It's really cool. Really cool. Like, there was a lot of effort and a lot of love put into this, and I really appreciate it. This is a quality piece here. It's so much fun. But until next time, guys, if we survive this alien onslaught, I am your man's Nic Rattlehead. And behind this camera, somewhere out in California, watching over your boy, is my man's with the master plan 100 grand. Tell him one more time, what's your name, man? Matt the Graff. Matt the Graff. Wash your hands, support your bands. Peace. How you do that, damn?